Hi everyone, welcome to another Meiyume Showcase Insight session. Today's topic is Toast to 2023, Wines and Spirits Trends. So we have prepared some slides and we're going to have a short discussion on what we're seeing in the wines and spirits industry post-COVID. My name is Robert Brockman. I'm part of the Retail Solutions division at Meiyume. And with me is Francois. Francois?
Thank you, Rob. Hi, my name is Francois. I'm in charge of Meiyume for Europe, and I'm very happy to be with you today.
Thank you. If anybody has any questions during the presentation, you can ask them on Zoom. You don't have to wait until the end, so you can type them in, and we'll see them on our screen, and then we'll address your question as we see them. Okay. So we want to start off by discussing the state of the market. Obviously, there's been quite a bit of disruption in the wines and spirits industry due to COVID, particularly in the on-trade, section of the business. So, Francois, do you want to take us through some of the, insights on where the market is?
Sure, Rob. So the good news is that the market is returning back. The growth is there. As you mentioned, we have to separate two things. We have to separate what we call the on-trade to the off-trade. On-trade is about everything related to the club, the disco, the hotel, and the off-trade is about stores, supermarket, and special
Retail.
Retail,
Yeah,
exactly. So because of COVID, everything was closed. So nothing to add on this. Then the good news is that we see in 2022 a rebound on this. And also, despite some still lockdown in some countries like China, we can see that APAC region is still representing around 36% of the business and is the most important region when we think about Europe is around 30% and US 18%. So as I say, it's a rebound, growth is returning. We have to make sure that we understand later on when we talk about what's Meiyume added value on this, that we work really on the on-trade and more on the spirit part than the wine part.
All right.
So what we can see as a total percentage, we can see the big drop. Nothing to do, of course, with the market, but everything to do because of the locals. But if you think about what is important on the on-trade is like this, but also e-commerce has been bumping thanks to the fact, or because to the fact we were locked down. We changed a little bit our way of consuming, and this is what we want to address in the next few slides.
Just a question on the sort of rebound. Why do you think on-trade is so resilient to have this kind of quick V-shaped recovery?
I think it's because of the mix of the country. I think some country reopened before than others, and we know that every time the lockdown was relieved, we know that we want to party.
Right.
So every time a country reopened the lounge and the club, everyone run to have drinks and have social life outside of their house.
Yeah.
So it's not one size fits all. It's about the fact that it's reopening slowly in each country, so this is maintaining this business up.
I think 2023 is projected to be back up to around 23% of the total market share.
Yeah, this is what the experts are expecting, and up to 2026, we can see only a big rebound and the market going up. But as you know, we are not political expert. We don't know what will happen in the future. So let's stick on what we know.
1 year at a time.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Okay.
So going on trend and innovation, what we want to share with you today is that the activity has been totally different from what we thought in terms of lockdown. lockdown, yes, obliged the people to stay home, but still you are home. What we saw as a trend is that we saw people party at home. In some countries, you're not allowed to bring too many people around the table, but at least on the family unit, you can still party. And we can saw in the market that a lot of brands have decided to come up with some special set where you can do your party at home, like you can become a bartender yourself and entertain your family and then your neighbor, and that's the main takeaway from this lockdown COVID.
Do you think the sort of inflation concerns, I mean, obviously inflation rates are different depending on countries or regions, but do you think that will have any impact on people maybe deciding to stay home longer and thus continuing this trend of the off-premise consumption?
Yeah, it's a good question, Rob, because I think when we were looking at these numbers that you can see, it was more because of the COVID lockdown. But now, as you mentioned rightly, the inflation is coming up. So we change our way of doing party. We have less money because inflation gone from 5 to whatever 20% in some country. So now we are used to this, and in order to save money, people will continue to do this at home.
Right. Okay.
We can see this as a real trend, not because of, but thanks to the new activity.
So we have some other examples of the.
Yeah, we share something we have done in the past few years, 2 years ago, for the Belvedere. Again, funny product. On the left side, you can see the Belvedere vodka crush. It's a silicone project where you put your vodka and your ice, and then you crush it, and then you fix your drink easily.
Right.
So that's something easy to do for non-expert bartender.
Yeah, that would be me.
Yeah, it would be you or me sometimes. But also, and mainly is it becomes something funny to experiment with your friends.
Yeah.
Everyone will do the nose, everyone will have it on hand, so it's a new trend. And also, what we saw during this new trend is the connected packaging. So
why is connected packaging important? What does it do for the brand or the consumers?
The thing is that few different takeaway from this. The first thing is, if we go back to what we just said earlier, is about being your own bartender. So by having a product connected at home, you can tap with your smartphone, and then you can find some recipe. And you can be staying at home, you can still do the bartender thing and pretend you are a professional, and then you can have some recipe. But also the second part that we can see more and more is the consumer wants to know what is inside the product. And it's no matter it's wine and spirit and perfume and cosmetics. I mean, it's everywhere in the world. Everyone is awareness is about what is inside. So the brand can communicate, and we can show in this slide the example of the consumer can tap the product and then understand where is the raw material coming from, what is the carbon footprint, what are the something.
Right.
More and more people are totally aware of this.
And this is for those that don't know, connected packaging, it's like a chip, an NFC chip that's basically in the sleeve of the packaging or in the bottle cap that the customer can tap their phone.
It can be anywhere, but you have to make some technical trial because we know that metal and NFC chip doesn't get along very well.
Okay.
But yes, sleeve, QR code that can be added to the label too. I think the good news is that we cannot say one size fits all because in Asia we were all already working with the QR code. But if I take my own example, we discovered in France the QR code just only to go for restaurants to check for the menu.
Right.
When our colleagues in Asia, they were doing already shopping for years with the QR code. So let's say that now if you can put the QR code on the label, people will know that they have something behind it and there is an experience.
Right. Okay.
And the good news for the brand, because when there is a consumer experience, you get your recipe, that the brand will have more data on who is tapping what and where in the world and what is the expectation from the consumer.
Yes. Okay.
Another trend we see is the premiumization.
Premiumization.
Premiumization continues. Yes, it's something very important. We just launched as Meiyume the Dom Pérignon co-branding with Lady Gaga, Luminous label. I think what we see in this industry, same as the perfume and cosmetics, same in other industry, is that the high-end product, there is no crisis for high-end product.
Right.
So we know that the Johnny Walker with the Year of the Tiger, it's more about unique moment that you can buy. It's kind of collector. You have the Glenfiddich with a 30 to 50-year-old bespoke hand-blown glass bottle is something you want to collect, right. Even if you don't drink whiskey. I'm not a whiskey drinker, but I know that I will buy this just to keep it as a collector.
Yeah.
So that's what we see as a trend.
Okay.
The other trend that I want to share with the audience, and this is personal, but I want to share it, is more and more convergence between the beauty and the wine and spirit. And what we are displaying on the slide is the new perfume coming out of the industry of wine and spirit, because the brand is Rémy Cointreau that has launched his own perfume called Psyché of a nice house, and you can see the bottle come from Baccarat. It's a very high-end bottle.
Yes.
Blow mold, and everything is about stones, diamonds, and gold. So this is one of the conversions we can see, this premiumization.
Yep.
Coming out in this industry.
Why is this convergence happening? And what lessons can the beauty industry give, or what can the wine and spirits industry learn from beauty?
One main difference, I must say, is that if you think about the perfume and cosmetic industry, it's just about producing. You can produce more. You have a PO from your market, you can produce more and you deliver. When you think about the wine and spirit, they cannot produce more than what they have. The cognac is already fixed for the next years and years, right, in terms of capacity. So they have to see how the perfume and cosmetic industry is tackling their customer and consumer in order to attract new people. Yeah. That's, I think, the lesson that can be learned for the wine and spirit. And it's a good transition because we can see that another convergence. We see what we call, it's called the drop, just came out for Louis XIII cognac. As you know, is a very expensive cognac. Yes. Not a lot of people can afford it. So what is Louis XIII doing? He's producing this small carafe which has a nail polish shaped bottle, let's say.
How many milliliters?
1 centiliter.
Okay.
It's 1 centiliter. The price is, of course, still expensive, but it's important that you can afford it. Yes. Because you can carry it and then you can try it. And if you like it and you have the money, you can go and buy the real carafe. And this is the same way on perfume. I mean, you buy, before buying 100 ml, you can buy a 15 ml, try it on you, see the reaction, and then you go to the next level. And it was interesting in this case because they promote it as a fashion company brand.
It's like an accessory.
It's an accessory, as you can see on the right side, and all the campaign advertisement is a model wearing it. Yes. As a bag. So it's interesting to see how it's moving and how it's converging. Another example of convergence we want to share is I don't have any friends in this industry. I'm just taking some example. And thanks to Karine in Paris who gave me this hint, it's true that if we speak about the perfume and cosmetic industry, we speak about the indie brands, right? The famous independent that they want to go on a special niche. Here we can say that the gin market is becoming the indie brands of the wine and spirit. Alone in France, we have already 80 brands of gin, only in France, different. So they are claiming maybe their origin from a special place in France, like South France, or they can claim from a special ingredient coming from a special region. So it's really, when we speak with our customer in ED brands, this is exactly what they talk about. Same thing, they want a formula like this, or they want so, and they put a lot of money. If you look at the Mellifera, it's a brand where they use a carbon supplier to provide outside decoration. It's a very high-end bottle and very well done. So yes, another convergence is this gin. And finally, the idea is to show you the link between convergence and sustainability is about what Louis XIII just came out with. I don't know if you play the video.
I think we can do this. Yes.
Okay. So first time ever, we think someone thought about refilling a cognac. So you come with your bottle at a special place. Not a lot for the moment. I heard from Louis XIII, but still now it exists some in the world. It's possible.
Right.
So who will have thought, I don't know, 10 years ago that you bring your empty Baccarat bottle?
This is their most premium.
Yes, Louis XIII.
Yeah.
But it again, when you think about the perfume and cosmetic industry, this is something that as a trend, we came out years ago.
Yes.
The first one to try it was Angel of Mugler to put this, and it was too early for the market, but now everyone is doing it.
Yes.
So it's a good example of where we are moving between consumer experience, that you don't throw away this big Baccarat crystal carafe, and then sustainability, and then you have consumer experience. So you tackle everything by doing this. And I think it's a perfect example where the world is moving on.
Yep. Yeah.
So going to sustainability, some trend on sustainability is, as we saw in the market, is the Ruina second peau, second skin, we call it. So it's a paper mold around the bottle.
What's the function of this?
Protecting the bottle. Before it was a big box. You can still have the box.
Yeah.
But now you have the choice between having a naked bottle, let's say, and this and this paper mold, and it gives a different look to the bottle because it protects from the sun, it protects from everything. So it's a protection, and you can put it in the fridge too. The Bacardi is a biodegradable packaging, and the Johnny Walker paper bottle. This is a new trend.
Yeah, I found that to be quite innovative. I never would have thought to put a spirit in a paper bottle. It's quite.
I think if we have asked our team a few years ago to work on this, they will have just said no.
Right.
So. This comes to our logo, our motto, which is knowing is the enemy of learning. So
I think this one is even converging with beauty as well, right? Because there's a lot of different beauty products now that you can get in, paper pulp packaging and things like that.
We saw a lot of shampoo coming now in paper bottle and things like this. So new trend is between innovation and sustainability. Sustainability is still a part of the innovation.
I think you have some examples on some electronics sustainability as well.
Yes, on the sustainability, as you can see here, we are displaying the Dom Pérignon luminous label that we have been producing for years now, and the new generation is about separability, because the most difficult thing at the end of the night when the Dom Pérignon bottle is empty, that the bartender just put it in the bin without having the possibility to separate every element. So now, with our innovation team, thanks to the great relation we have with our customer on the development side, we are able to propose a separation of all the elements. So then the bartender now, they can put in a different bin all the recycled products. So that's an innovation, but trend to sustainability.
Right.
And finally, wanted to share with you what we have produced for NC. It's a bowl that is, as a consumer experience, is in the club.
Yeah.
And you can personalize the text by using your iPhone, which is remote with Bluetooth to this giant bowl. But at the beginning of the development, for sure, no one was speaking about this big bowl to be shipped everywhere in the world, because again, we speak about sustainability. And the team in Paris have been working with the NC team on how can we make this the flat pack possible.
Okay.
In terms of being able to ship everywhere like this. So they were doing rapid prototyping on this, and finally we arrived at a great success because consumer experience works, but also we are working on the eco-conception of the packaging since the beginning to be able to be the most sustainable possible.
So it's not just the materials, but also the way that these
Exactly.
projects are engineered that can deliver sustainability as well.
Yeah, from the beginning to the end, you have to see the food chain in terms of from the development to delivery. That's very right. Yes.
Okay.
So that's it.
So we got a question online. Just going back to the home themed products, kind of the off-premise trend. Do you see that continuing to be a popular trend in the coming years? Why or why not?
Yeah, I think as we mentioned before, maybe not maybe. I'm sure it's not because of lockdown, because I hope we will not have any more lockdown.
Right.
But it will be still popular. That's the way we see it. And we can see a lot of boxes with a lot of different types. We are building some bartender kit in terms of ready to be used at home. So it's on two ways. First is about the experience you can have at home. You make fun with this. You gather people. You want to go back to a social life. And second, it's kind of answer to the inflation problem we have, because for some people they have not enough money to go to the club anymore. But at least they know that with one bottle or one box with everything ready, they can enjoy this kind of same thing at home.
Sure. Okay. So that concludes our session for Wines and Spirits. For everyone that attended, hope you learned something new today, and we look forward to maybe seeing you at the event.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.